This is a special presentation for the Bleav in Pro Wrestling podcast. Here's Rick Ucchino on the Bleav Podcast Network.
What is going on, you guys? Rick Ucchino here for the Bleav in Pro Wrestling podcast and YouTube channels. Got some great content coming for you here from WrestleMania weekend, the big press junket, some 83 media markets involved, including yours truly, live here in Dallas. WrestleMania 38 is upon us. But real quick, before we dive into this interview, got to give a shout out to our friends over at Manscaped. Without them, I would not be here right now talking to you and talking to some of the biggest stars in the wrestling industry. They are the #1 men's grooming company for all the things you got to take care of below the waist. You know what I'm saying? Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's performance package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. You can join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer. 20% off, free worldwide shipping using our promo code BLEAVPW. Go to manscaped.com. Again, promo code BLEAV, the letter P, and the letter W. The Performance Package 4.0 by Manscaped, it has arrived, and this is an absolute game changer. It includes this bad boy right here, all right? The Lawnmower 4.0, huge upgrade for what I was typically using. All right, this thing is smooth, it's comfortable, it works fantastically. I have had no issues whatsoever. Personally, big shout out to Manscaped for sending this on over so I can sit here and I can talk to you fine folks. Again, 20% off, free shipping, promo code BLEAVPW. Go to manscaped.com. Check them out. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Bleav in Pro Wrestling podcast and YouTube channels. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much. Let's get to some WrestleMania content, shall we? All right, guys, Rick Ucchino here for the Bleav Podcast Network and SB Nation. WrestleMania weekend, my guest at this time has one of the most highly anticipated matches on the entire card. Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville. That is a sentence I never thought I would say. But also, you know, just look at the comparisons to last year's WrestleMania. You went toe-to-toe with Kevin Owens, somebody who's very, you know, you're very familiar with. Absolute brilliance. Should have had more than 9 minutes, but I digress anyway. What's the difference in kind of mindset here from when you're going against somebody like Kevin Owens last year, somebody you're so familiar with, to now you're going up with Johnny Knoxville? From like a mentality and a preparation standpoint, that's got to be a huge difference.
Yeah, apples and oranges, not even comparable, really. You know, of course, there's a lot of self-inflicted pressure. Being with Kevin, we always do that with ourselves. I think it's a good thing, personally. I think it keeps it fresh, which is hard to do with a story that's been going on and off for 20 years.
Yeah.
But there's this self-inflicted pressure to make it good and different and stand out and live up to the expectations of what you would expect when you see Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. So that was a lot of self-inflicted pressure. This is kind of external pressure and like, oh man, fans, you know, we got to give him something here. And it's got to be good. Johnny Knoxville's not a wrestler. I don't know. Apples and oranges. I don't even know how to compare it. I don't even know. This whole thing is crazy.
I was going to say,
it's so crazy.
It has to be the most bizarre storyline, but maybe the most fun one that you've had in your career at this point.
Oh, very much so. Very much so. It's also rare. You don't really see a celebrity have a rivalry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, a celebrity will come in and do something.
Right.
And that's about it. Like, I have a proper rivalry with the man. It's been 4 months. If you look at it as just a wrestling story, it's actually been it's one of the longest built storylines going into WrestleMania.
I've said the same.
It's been 4 months brewing here.
I know.
So, the man's obviously committed. I'll say that much. He should probably be committed. It's a whole other thing. Kind of a lunatic. But I'm very excited. And yes, absolutely, creatively, it's been very, very stimulating, the whole thing. Because he's such an outside-the-box performer, we've gotten to build this match in a very outside-the-box way.
Yeah, and, you know, obviously story, character work, something that's very, you know, important to you, and fans have kind of really, you know, I know you're the bad guy, you're the heel, the conspiracy theory, but you've committed so much to this, and the fans are really enjoying it as well. And it's almost, trust me, I can attest to this, and it's almost like we're kind of ready for that babyface turn there a little bit. Have you thought how maybe that might change if and when that trigger ever gets pulled there?
So I started feeling this when I was doing the documentary stuff about a year ago, this time a year ago, in the lead up to WrestleMania.
That was really
it was in the Thunderdome. But I really felt so good about what I was doing, and it was so entertaining. I thought, this might just be.
No, I loved it. Look what the dancing did.
Yeah, so I just wonder if that stuff would have turned me with the audience then, if they enjoyed it.
Right.
Because there was a lightness to it as well. Like it was something you could enjoy. It wasn't just I wanted to see that guy get beat up.
Right.
You get joy out of watching this man be tormented.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I wonder if there had been an audience present in that time. That was always a thing I wondered in the back of my head is, I wonder if there was a crowd, how they'd be reacting to this.
Yeah.
Because I feel like what I'm doing is really good. I was very proud of that stuff, but I don't know how they would have taken it.
Yeah, and that's got to be so maybe infuriating as a performer, because you can never really know what.
I look at it as a standalone thing. I look at it as a piece of work I did, and I'm very proud of, and. In fact, I love the Thunderdome. It's probably an unpopular opinion because, the fans are the lifeblood of what we do. But sure. I loved the Thunderdome because I loved what I did during the Thunderdome, and I thought it played just as well with a crowd as without. Although we'll never know for sure.
We'll never know for sure, yeah. I wanted to ask you this because I know you would give me an honest answer. We've spoken before. You're always very candid. You were the Intercontinental Champion for a little bit heading into WrestleMania, and I was really excited because I'm like, oh man, that Intercontinental Championship, it's gonna have a WrestleMania match. Everything's gonna be great. And you drop it a week later, and now it's not on the WrestleMania card. Do you feel like the Intercontinental Championship and the United States title for that much, which is also not on this weekend, do you think those get the respect that they truly deserve?
I mean, they're just they're titles, right? So it's not about the respect the title gets; it's the performer that holds the title.
Right.
So, for example, if it happened to be if Roman Reigns were the U.S. champ, don't worry, that U.S. title is getting on the show.
Sure.
So sometimes it has happened to where I think the title has ended up in the hands of a performer who is because it's always been a breakout title, right?
Yeah.
So is on the verge of a breakout. And sometimes, sometimes it goes one way, sometimes it goes the other. So Ricochet didn't have as an example, Ricochet didn't have a ton of television time going into his title win.
Correct, yeah.
So it kind of makes sense that he got the title, which is great for him. But, it's also at a weird time where it's in the build-up to WrestleMania, so I don't think it's a disrespect to the title itself that it didn't. I think it's just kind of where the chips fall.
Right.
You know what I mean? Sometimes that's one of the things that people don't understand about being on the inside of WWE is how chaotic all of this is.
Yes, exactly.
And how sometimes it's not about the Intercontinental title is not important, let's dismiss it. Sometimes it's just dominoes fall and sometimes you're just the odd man out.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Sure, for sure.
And it happens to almost everybody. I mean, look at Seth Rollins. It actually turned into a storyline,
for sure,
which I think has been great. But the storyline almost played on a real life thing, which is the matches lined up this way, and oh my God, how is Seth got left out?
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? And
it kind of
and
then nerds like me are like, what are they doing with Seth Rollins?
Right,
but it also fuels it a little bit too.
Yeah, it totally has. So I don't think it's I don't think it's a slight on the championships themselves. I think sometimes just circumstance and. Let's all just take a breath.
Absolutely. I think that's a very good way.
Let's all calm down.
Calm down and let's end this interview because we got a heart out. I appreciate it, Sami. Thank you so much. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you very much.
Yep. All right, guys, thank you again so much for tuning into this interview and any of the other myriad of things that we have been putting up on the channel this week. Our big, most stupendous WrestleMania preview show with Renee Paquette is up there right now. Check it out. Got my conversation with Montez Ford. Check that out as well. Got a lot coming from the press junket as well. Again, like, share, subscribe. We really appreciate the support. And also got to give a quick shout out to our friends over at Bet Online, because again, without them, we wouldn't be here right now. And we are finally here. It is Final Four weekend, by the way, not just WrestleMania. It's Final Four weekend. Top 4 teams of college basketball battling it out for the national championship. If you're looking to wager on these games or the national championship itself, head on over to betonline.ag on your desktop or grab your mobile device. Sign up today. Receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code Bleav to get started. That is BLEAV. BetOnline remains your number one spot for all of the updated odds and info, along with player props and new contests throughout the year. It is the best source for all your sports wagering needs, including live betting and everyone's favorite Vegas casino games and poker games. It is super easy to get started, so join today. What are you waiting for? Learn why everyone is saying BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.